He's a very, very passionate director. Puts his heart and soul in what he does, and won't pick anything, won't pick a project unless it's something that he believes in and that he could tell a Ryan Coogler story.
Ryan Coogler is likely the best writer-director of my generation. Here's your crash course briefing on Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler was born May 23rd, 1986 in Oakland, California. He was a known athlete, and he even earned a football scholarship to attend St. Mary's College. Due to injury, he decided to pivot his focus in higher education from sports to film. He soon applied to attend USC's film program. This is the intentional move that propelled Coogler to become the filmmaker we love today. Ryan Coogler is a visual storyteller who has been capturing a widespread audience since his first feature film, Fruitvale Station. Since then, his projects have amassed billions of dollars globally, with the franchises like Creed and Black Panther under his belt. In 2018, he became the youngest director to have a film that grossed over $1 billion, and lately Coogler's name has been in the collective consciousness as a result of The Sinners release, his first film of his own original IP, and starring his creative muse and frequent collaborator, Michael B. Jordan. If it's weird that I'm looking up, I'm trying to read a teleprompter. We're not here for biographical breakdown of Coogler's rise and trajectory, rather to explore the reasons why he holds the title of my favorite director, the artistic choices that he's made that contribute to his success, or why everyone who works with him wants to work with him.
This is Ryan's creation. I thought, how interesting. Someone so young to be captivated by this, but he had personal reasons.
Authenticity. When Ryan Coogler speaks, two things are evident. His rich stories grab everyone in the room, and his Oakland accent is indisputable.
No matter what Ryan is doing, no matter how long he in Hollywood, that Oakland do not get up out
West
of
Coast.
You can hear the Oakland in you. Like, you doing movies that got $90 million budgets, but it don't change
It's just my action. It's how I talk, bro.
I see this as comfort for those around him and comfort within himself, who he is and how he came up. I often see people in comments saying that Coogler does no code switching. He knows how to speak eloquently and does not need to dilute his accent. This interview on Power 105's The Breakfast Club exemplifies how Ryan owns a room when he's telling his personal stories. Regardless of how his voice sounds or if he has a stutter, which by the way, I didn't even really notice until it was pointed out, but I do understand people who can see themselves in Ryan who also have speech nuances. In this interview, and of course plenty others, people are way engaged with what Ryan is saying. Ryan goes into depth about a process that led to certain choices in Sinners. He then transitions that to a cotton field that he's seen for the first time in person, and with this experience, he can also feel the 400 years of slavery experienced by foundational Black Americans. Now, of course, you could just go watch the interview and listen to Ryan tell his stories, but basically this links him to think about the blues. And Coogler states that his Uncle James always played the blues. The combination of these feelings and experiences brought up the idea of sharecropping, and all of these are the ingredients to bring inspiration for the film Sinners.
Watching Ryan Coogler kind of blew my mind. I don't even know Oakland like that, but this feels like just a normal guy from Oakland. You don't have to put on an act to say, I'm a director now. You can go, no, I have a vision, and I have to communicate, and this is the way I choose to communicate. I'm so happy I'm just here to witness this man work.
Ryan is very clear in his storytelling, both in how he articulates it and even better through film. For the film Creed from 2015, Coogler has shared that the concept stemmed from his father's love of Rocky.
Before I have a big game, he make me sit down and watch Rocky 2 on VHS.
This branches off to Coogler's interest in Apollo Creed's character and subsequently curiosity of what his family may have looked like after Apollo's passing in Rocky 4.
I was going through the experience of possibly losing my father, you know, and it was that kind of idea, you know, that we wanted to start with.
It's obvious that Coogler gravitates towards doing this, putting his personal stories of his experiences, mostly with his family, his relationship with Black culture and history, into his art. In my research, the cardinal video I discovered was of Coogler receiving the David Lead Award, giving his BAFTA acceptance speech in 2022, following the release of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. In this speech, Coog outlines what the ingredients are to his filmmaking in 5 pillars:
Identity, community, ritual, fear, and time.
Not only are all of these elements what make up his relation to the medium, but they are exemplified in his works. So I suggest everyone go ahead and check out the speech for themselves. But I want to tackle a few key things that he spoke about that stand out to me.
Identity is a very challenging one with me. I've always had a complicated relationship with the concept.
He lists all the main characters that he had up until that point in time that carry different titles that make up their identity. For funsies and to affirm this finding, I've taken the liberty of utilizing this with characters in Sinners. So Smoke, Stack, and Sammy are the main characters, but Sammy is the one with the more formal identity crisis. He's stuck between the offers of life that others want him to choose from, but in the end, he chooses his own way. And it's a response to the given circumstances that life has brought, whether it's a consequence of his sins or just his decisions, really. He's a musician, an artist, as well as a sharecropper. His passion versus what he was told to do for practicality. And although writers do go beyond their own capacity of what they've lived through, Coogler always puts his essence in who he writes. It's kind of like when songwriters write for an artist to sing their songs. Ryan has done this with Michael B. Jordan and other actors time and again. And I think that this authenticity is the main reason why people gravitate towards his work. It goes beyond individual identity, as Ryan always prioritizes authenticity in the narrative culturally, so people can relate to and feel moved by the visuals he and his team produce.
Looking at an indication of what he's going to do in the future, look to what he's done in the past. And Fruitvale and Creed both impacted me. It was just something special about him. I wanted to meet him and support him.
Representation matters. No, seriously. We collectively prefer to see ourselves represented in all different types of facets in our lives, including executives for companies we patronize, our healthcare professionals, as well as actual representatives who run government. At the Santa Barbara International Film Festival in 2023, Ryan Coogler presented Angela Bassett with the Montecito Award for her contributions to film. He speaks with reverence of the performances Angela Bassett has gifted to the industry, recalling her performances in Boys in the Hood and Malcolm X as the first times he saw her on screen. He recalls watching her in films like What's Love Got to Do With It and Waiting to Exhale, surrounded by the elder women in his family. See, this connection and representation even led to Angela Bassett speaking to Ryan's grandmother at a premiere, requesting that Ryan put her in one of his films.
We had the premiere for Creed, and Angela Bassett was there. She was hanging out with my grandma and my mom, at the after party, and I just couldn't believe it. When we were on our way home, I asked my grandma, I said, "Yo, you was hanging out with Angela Bassett. What were y'all talking about?"
And thus, the unforgettable portrayal of Queen Ramonda of Wakanda was born. For Black Panther, the choice was made to have Wakanda speak Xhosa. Xhosa? Xhosa. 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 I butchered that. A South African language which was spoken by John Connie, the actor who plays T'Chaka in Captain America Civil War. Then it was accepted by the Russo brothers and adopted by Coogler. The outcome of the film spawned conversation about the history Black Americans have with African heritage, the disconnect, and the resurgence of interest in visiting the motherland. Additionally, the film has inspired many girls, especially young Black women, to gain an interest in STEM due to Shuri's technological advancements. Here are two things that I've personally noticed in his films that feel very close to my heart and why I admire his storytelling. First, it's the realness in the dialogue, specifically in the midst of conflict or disagreement. I'm someone who is conflict avoidant, so when writing, I find it challenging to translate conflict from the internal to the external. Coogler's specialty is being able to convey this seamlessly, whether it's straightforward and linear in recounting what Oscar Grant felt on his New Year's Eve, the insecurity and anger living within Adonis Creed, the abandonment felt by Eric Killmonger, the weight of leadership felt by King T'Challa, the grief carried by Princess Shuri, or addressing the inner demons as the characters of Sinners had done. Secondly, I really admire how Coogler portrays Black women in his films. They also, to some degree, fit his structure of identity. Bianca in Creed is a Philly native. She's a talented music recording artist, and she also happens to have progressive hearing loss, and we get to see her performing originals for her own showcases in the movie. Annie in Sinners is a trusted source of wisdom and healing within her community. She's a lover, a medicine woman, a business owner. Also, all the characters turn to her for guidance when facing imminent threat. Coogler has expressed several times in his career the love that he has for his wife and the support that she has for him. During the Sinners press tour, he states that Zinzi Evans, his wife of 9 years and long-term partner, is his favorite person. Zinzi was also a producer for the aforementioned film.
I just want to commend you, Ryan, for working with your wife as well. I think that that's beautiful. I need her. It ain't altruistic. It's the one she had her hand in full time, bro. Like I don't think that's a coincidence, man. She the smartest person I know. And she knows me. She knows me better than I know myself at this point.
This makes it clear why he paints women in his films with such fullness. Creative team. Now briefly, let's talk about the filmmaking from a technical standpoint, and of course the team who works with Coogler to make the vision come to life. The first is obvious, Michael B. Jordan. In interviews, they talk about being close friends, a brotherhood, and a shorthand that they developed because of this bond. Coogler saw the burgeoning potential for Mike as a leading man and a household name. The next is Ludwig. He's a very well-known composer, but he and Coog met while still in school. He's like the secret sauce behind the use of music in all of Coogler's films. Hannah Beachler is Ryan's production designer for multiple titles. Michael P. Shaver has been his editor since Fruitvale. Ruth E. Carter is a veteran of the costume design game and has been tapped in frequently for his projects as well. For Black Panther, she won her first Academy Award for costume design and won her second for Wakanda Forever. The nurturing of Coogler's relationship with his creative team is a key component of his film's success. In this video, Coogler and Autumn Arkapaw, the director of photography for both Wakanda Forever and Sinners, discuss their process in deciding what format to film in for their latest project.
You explained to me kind of what emotionally you wanted your audience to get out of it. What impresses me the most is that, like, we're not talking about references. You didn't give me a bunch of, like, tangible stuff, but you told me the feeling at which you want to create and what was important to you. And then we talk about format and stuff.
I myself dream of this as a director. To have that level of understanding and trust with someone who is a master in control of the camera. I also want to note really quickly that after working on this film, Arkapaw is the first woman director of photography to ever shoot on large format IMAX film. Personally, I've noticed that Coogler loves a good one-shot. I think these really make you feel like you, the audience, is immersed in the scene with the characters. And I feel it's done to communicate the emotion Arkapaw spoke of. There's a very particular one-shot in Sinners that has been a big visual talking point of the film. There's this iconic one in the casino scene from Black Panther. This one shot from Creed really grabbed me. It was so seamless and so intimate. It makes us feel like we're on Donnie's team, like we're walking into the ring with him. While Coogler's 5 films have had 3 different DPs or cinematographers, all women might I add, there's still a lot of cohesion in the framing and camera movements. Every artistic choice feels real and purposeful.
He did create the world with intricate intimacy and allowed us in as great collaborators. And that really allowed an ownership and a lot of heart and guts and soul to go into what we were doing on set every day.
He has a tremendous amount of trust, and that's something that I haven't seen in a filmmaker in the way that Ryan has it. He has it in spades.
Ryan Coogler, someone who I deeply respect and am inspired by. I just think his artistry is so profound and necessary, and he's a beacon and he's a keeper of the culture.
Ryan is a goal-oriented director. I've never seen a more focused individual on one project.
This is the je ne sais quoi that makes actors, creatives, and audiences alike gravitate towards Coogler's work. It's simply because he cares. His personal connections to stories, his ability to relate his own life to the characters, and infusing it all with what he observes in the world and the people around him generates the passion that we see on screen. At only 38 years of age, Ryan Coogler has solidified himself as a masterful visual storyteller and currently the greatest of my generation.